Have you ever heard an argument that sounded convincing, but something about it, it just didn't sit right? Maybe someone won an argument not because they were right, but because they spoke louder, got emotional, or twisted your words. Well, chances are you just witnessed a fallacy in action. Hello and assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Alif bin Ibrahim, and today we are going to talk about fallacies. Fallacies are all around us, whether if it's in conversations, in political debates, even in your social media feed. But the question is, what is a fallacy? A fallacy is a mistake in reasoning, a flaw in the logic that makes an argument weak or misleading. It might sound logical at first, but when you really think about it, it falls apart. Some fallacies use emotions to distract you, others twist facts, oversimplify complex issues, or attack the person instead of the argument. So why should you care? Because spotting fallacies helps you become a sharper thinker, a better communicator, and someone who's not easily fooled. Are you ready to learn how to recognize them? Let's break it down. So you already heard about the definition of a fallacy, which is a flaw in reasoning. But did you know fallacies come into two main types? Number one, formal fallacy. Formal fallacy is an argument based on invalid argument, structure, or form. Number two, informal fallacy is valid in its structure or form, but other factors makes argument invalid. In formal fallacy, there is affirming the consequent, a formal fallacy that occurs when one incorrectly concludes that if a statement, the consequent, is true, then its corresponding condition, the antecedent, must also be true. To put into the retrospective, it goes like this. If Maria loves James, she will call him every day. Maria calls James every day. Therefore, Maria loves James. As for the fallacy, it will be calling someone daily could be for many reasons: routine, obligation, or even manipulation, not necessarily about love. Subject number two is denying the antecedent. A formal fallacy that occurs when one incorrectly concludes that if the antecedent of a conditional statement is false, then the consequent must also be false. For example, here's the scenario. If Amy is a teacher, then she works at a school. Amy is not a teacher, therefore, Amy does not work at a school. So, as for the fallacy, for this one will be Amy could be a principal, a counselor, or janitor, but still working at a school. Subject number three will be affirming a disjunct, which is this fallacy occurs when one incorrectly concludes that if one part of a disjunction, A or B, is true, then the other part must be false. As for the example, it goes like this. Either the manager is in the meeting or in their office. The manager is not in the meeting. Therefore, the manager is not in their office. For the fallacy, the manager could still be in the office. Now let's talk about informal fallacies. And these are everywhere. Informal fallacies show up in arguments on the internet, in politics, in debates, and yes, even in the dinner table. So remember, formal fallacies break the logic. Informal fallacies twist the message. The more you recognize them, the better you'll be at thinking clearly and calling out weak arguments when you see them. For informal fallacies, there are multiple fallacies, and so for today, I will explain 4 types of it. Now, let's look at 4 common fallacies you're likely to hear in everyday life and learn how to spot them.
You're just a kid who haven't even worked yet. What do you know about running a country?
Now that's an ad hominem attack, attacking the protesters' youth instead of their arguments. Another example, can be seen when it comes to Trump versus Clinton in presidential debate.
She is a nasty woman. Trump, just a reality TV clown.
Instead of addressing the argument, the speaker attacks the person. This is called ad hominem, a fallacy that shifts focus from what is being said to who is saying it.
We should improve school lunches. So you want to stuff kids?
The straw man. A straw man fallacy twists someone's words into an exaggerated or distorted version, then attacks that version instead. Now I will show you an example of a straw man.
They want gun control? That means they want to take all our gun and destroy the constitutions.
Gun control in the United States of America, a debate about gun regulation. And the fallacy, most gun control proposals are about regulation, not about total confiscation.
This Ustad said, vaccines are unsafe, so I won't take them.
Appeal to authority, believing something because a respected figure said it, not based on evidence. An appeal to authority fallacy happens when someone believes a claim is true just because an expert or authority figure said it, even if they are not qualified or the claim isn't backed by evidence.
You're either with us or with them.
This presents a false dilemma. In reality, voters may disagree with both sides or support third-party options. False dilemma. The false dilemma fallacy limits choices to just two when in reality there are more options. We've just explored some of the most common fallacies, which is ad hominem, straw man, appeal to authority, and the false dilemma. Each one shows how arguments can sound convincing but actually fall short when we look closer. So after learning about the fallacies, now here's my critical evaluation of the topic of fallacies, outlining both its strengths and weaknesses as a subject of study and discussion in logic, rhetoric, and critical thinking. And now I will list you a brief comparison with another philosophical tradition such as Islamic philosophy and Western thoughts. Whether it's attacking a person, twisting someone's words, blindly trusting authority, or forcing a false choice, fallacies cloud our thinking and weaken our conversation. Now here's the good news. Once you know how to spot them, you can start to think more clearly, communicate more honestly, and listen more carefully. Because good reasoning isn't just about being right, it's about being fair, thoughtful, and open to better ideas. So the next time you're in a debate, scrolling through a post, or watching the news, ask yourself, is this a really strong argument, or is there a fallacy hiding in plain sight? Stay sharp, stay curious, and keep thinking critically. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Assalamualaikum.